Alvin Kamara on the new offense, selling his house, and much more. Ladies and gentlemen, today, the video we are looking at is from New Orleans.football. It's an interview with Alvin Kamara. The New Orleans Saints also posted the same interview with Alvin Kamara, but shop local, support local, so we are watching NOF's version. Now, I actually had done a video. I had done a video about this rumor that Alvin Kamara is selling his house. A couple days ago, maybe a week ago, it came out that his house was up for sale, and people obviously were drawing conclusions saying, what does this mean? This can't be good. And I had done a little bit of a video on it, but then boom, this drops. So we're going to redo it, and I'm going to see what Alvin says. Now, before he even gets going here, in the previous video, I said, the market's hot, all right? The real estate market is hot. Who the hell knows why someone would want to sell a house? You pay blank for it. You can get 70%, profit, whatever. You can double your money in some situations in the real estate market, especially if you're someone like Alvin, who's been here for almost a decade. Who knows when he bought the house? So he can make a ton of money. So I don't blame him for selling a house. I don't blame anybody for selling a house. And selling your house doesn't mean you're moving, obviously. Could mean you're looking for a bigger house. Could mean all kind of things. But the emergency alarm did go off because we haven't seen much of Alvin, because we know the contract situation. We've covered that multiple times. We know that the first game is a couple days away. We've yet to see Alvin really do anything. He is simultaneously the most important piece of the Saints offense and the biggest question mark of the Saints offense. Question mark because we just haven't seen him. Question mark because we just haven't seen him. The holdout thing. We didn't see him in preseason. And then the question mark with the actual contract itself. So a lot to go over here, but we shall do it.
How you feeling, man? Everything? Facts all good? Everything?
Yeah, everything cool. Great. I feel great. Yeah, ready.
Question there, I don't know if y'all heard it, was how do you feel about everything with the back? So his back was the reason that he didn't play. He was dealing with a bit of a back issue. Aren't we all? Ladies and gentlemen, man, I deal with, every single day I'm dealing with a back issue. But I ain't day to day. Damn sure ain't questionable, and I for sure ain't doubtful. Let me tell you that, because we do videos every single day, sometimes multiple videos, especially with the season coming up. I was having a meeting with my producer today, a.k.a. myself, and I was thinking, do I go to 3 videos today? Who even knows? What's the most I could do? But that's a different tale for a different time.
Yep.
Just now that you've been in this offense for a little bit now, initial impressions or other impressions?
I feel good about it. I think we all running the same plays in this league, right? It's just terminology. Some guys have different philosophies, so it's I think just learning. And you could ask Clint. I was annoying him during the preseason because I was hovering around him because I'm trying to ask him, like, what you thinking, what you doing, and he was like, man, get away from me, I'm trying to call the play, I kind of, that's kind of what I'm used to. I did it with Drew, kind of did it with Sean, just trying to be ahead and just kind of get into the mind of the play caller. He's calling the play, so I want to kind of try to be on the same page and that way then I can kind of piggyback and catch his rhythm, and then I might be seeing something that I think he might be thinking about or about to think about, and then I can beat him to it. So
Alvin, let me say that. Obviously, it's not as simple as we're all running the same plays in this league. I think we learned from last year when we were running whatever Pete Carmichael had going on, that every team isn't running the same plays. Like the NFL is evolving so rapidly, and this new style, this new evolution of offense that we're seeing now, and that we're now a part of. The Saints are now a part of that new evolution. Does that mean it'll be successful? No, but at least we're trying to be ahead of the time. So I don't really, I don't think he means it literally that everyone's running the same plays, but this is going to be very different. Like, it is completely different systematically than what we saw from the Saints last year. So, but the vibe that Alvin's given in every interview, and this might just be the kind of person he is, and his personality, but in every interview he's kind of given the same vibe of trust me, just trust me, I'll figure it out. And he even kind of says it with kind of a smirk or whatever, and it is kind of a like, look, I know what I'm doing, I know how to do this, I know how to prep, I know how to process. Like, it's been everything that he has done this offseason has been questioned by the media or the fan base, whether it's Why weren't you at this practice? Why weren't you? I think it was mandatory. One of the camps, one of the rookie mini camps or mandatory camps. He was out of the country. And he was one of the only veterans not to be there. I think it was him and Lattimore were the only two not to be there. He was questioned then. He was questioned about the contract. He's questioned about the back. He's questioned about the offense. So this whole off season has just been a bunch of questions. And then Kamara has kind of responded in one way or the other of, I'll figure it out. Trust me. Trust this. Trust what I've done. Look at my body of work. I'm going to be okay. All right. And I do trust him. Right now, I trust him that he'll be out there, that he'll be playing. We'll see, maybe not prime Alvin Kamara, but we will see a ready-to-roll Alvin Kamara in a system that very much benefits Alvin Kamara.
So you liked him on the sideline then?
Yeah, I liked him. I asked him too. I was like, "What you think?" He was like, "I ain't never leaving the sideline." So hopefully he's on the sideline this game.
It's always hard to project until you actually do it. But do you, I guess, foresee a spike or increase in production with this offense?
I would hope so. That's what they're here for. I think that's what Clint.
True. That's the plan. I was just about to say that. That is the plan. The plan is a spike. I can't stop looking at this little mini microphone. I mean, this is like Vern Troyer's microphone. It's like I don't understand it. Because, I mean, again, it's been a long time since I was a tried and true Big J journalist where I was carrying around a microphone. But, I mean, it can't be that much more beneficial to hold the mini mic than to hold just a regular microphone. Like I see them all the time. I see people doing the interview with the mini mic. I just don't get it. But I mean that is the goal. The goal is they were brought in because last year wasn't good enough. So everyone should have the same answer. Everyone should have the same answer of, I hope my production does go up. I hope what we were doing last year, everything does go through the roof. If it doesn't, then it's a failure. We're not looking for the same production from anyone from last year. We're not looking for the same production from Chris Olave or Derek Carr or Alvin Kamara or any of the tight ends or Taysom Hill. We're looking for a whole new swath of production and just a whole new level of the Saints offense.
When it's here for, I think that's what the rest of those guys are here for everybody across the board. I mean, even Shaheed and Chris and even our tight ends. I think that's what's expected, increase in production.
How promising is it to have seen that production in other places and kind of projecting, yourselves in those roles?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at what they've been able to produce, it's exciting. So, I think that's the best tell of what's to come in the future. You see some seeing what they've been able to do at other places, and then it kind of it stood true. So hopefully we do the same here.
It's not just San Francisco either. Like, I know it's easy to look at San Francisco because Kubiak was just there, but you can look at any of the offenses in this tree. You look at any of the offenses right now, they're all kind of the same. Like, it's all kind of the same thing. The production is pretty much the same across the board. It's very easy to see, like, okay, that this works, that works, that works, that works. And it's easy to see the Saints are going to try and fall in that line. The Saints are going to try and be in the conversation with the Rams and the Dolphins and the 49ers. So whether we're a third or fourth on that list of teams I just said, but the production and the idea should be there. And for someone like Alvin, who's going to be the focal point of that, got to be very exciting.
How soon do you, I know you've talked to us in the past about knowing what it's supposed to look like and feel like, and maybe it just didn't feel that way. How soon does this team need to feel that, have that success, have something tangible to kind of hold on to know that it is real?
I mean, the season here now, so it's kind of like we're gonna find out on Sunday. Yeah. That's gonna be our first real, I guess, feeling of are we where we need to be? Are we where we think we are, or do we still got a lot more work to do? Or I mean, it's early, it's game one, but I feel like you got to kind of come out hot and kind of establish who you're gonna be. So
I was having this conversation today. The Saints need to start hot. Not just for themselves, but because this is a must-win game, because it's a divisional game, because it is probably one of the easiest games on their schedule, because all of that is true. Also, the fan base is teeter-tottering on riot or in love with the team. They need to, like, if the Saints drop this game, I mean, I can't even imagine. I cannot even imagine the vibe around this team. Because the team is already facing a ton of questions from the fan base and the media. And if they come out there, start hot, drop 35 points on the Panthers, win 35-10 or something really convincing, the offense is humming, it looks good, there's going to be a really quick change in the narrative surrounding the New Orleans Saints. There's going to be a really quick change. Now, if all of a sudden the Saints win 9-3, or God, if they lose, then all the stuff we've been defending, all the narrative that we've been defending and we've been trying to fight back against, all that narrative all of a sudden has a ton of gas thrown on it. And the Saints are in a hole that is going to be hard to come out of. It's going to be hard to, you lose to the Chiefs, you lose to the Eagles, you lose to the Cowboys. You can come out of that hole. You lose to the Panthers. I don't want to say the season's over, but you lose to the Panthers, your back is up against it.
We'll see.
Everything's still the same with the contract, but
like what?
I guess in terms of just like, it not being done right now. I mean, you just push that aside now.
Horrible. I mean, I'll let him finish the question.
The season's here.
Oh yeah.
Horrible question. Like, that's one of those questions I always say it. I don't know how many journalists or reporters or whatever are watching this, but ask the question. Ask the question. Do not try and skirt around a question so that the athlete has to basically say it themselves and ask it themselves. This guy he backed himself into a corner and he answered his own question. The question was, is everything new with the contract, right? Then he said, because it's not done. So he answered his own question. Like, is anything new with the contract? Obviously not. If it's not done, you would have known if it's new. His question should have been, how close are y'all to getting a deal done? Because he knows the deal isn't done. So the question should be, how close are you and the Saints to getting a new contract? And it's hard to ask those questions, sure. And it's even harder when you're holding a mini mic.
I mean, it's too late for contract talk. I'm kind of, like I told y'all when I got to LA, like, I mean, if it get done, cool. If it don't, cool. So, I mean, I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, I'm not even talking about it till after the season. Like, I don't want to talk about it.
And a lot of people on like social media notice your house is for sale.
Yeah. You looking for a house?
A much cheaper discount.
Hey, everybody pool some money together. Y'all sell it. Y'all can make it the media house. Exactly. Yeah. No. I'm selling my house. I would like to call myself a serial entrepreneur. I dabble in many things in real estate.
A serial entrepreneur, someone who wants to invest in Cheerios, Frosted Flakes, and Corn Pops, ladies and gentlemen.
Being one of them. So, yeah, and then I talked to Matt Bowers, and he told me I can live with him. So I think it was a good financial decision to list my house.
Unbelievable. I mean, what does Matt Bowers not do? You need a Kia Soul? You need a Hyundai Elante? You need a Telluride? You need a Palisade? I hope these are all car names. You need something like that, you go call Matt Bowers. Matt Bowers sponsoring every show out here, except mine. And he's giving Alvin unreal financial advice. Unbelievable. I mean, and now Alvin's going to move in with Matt. I tell you what, Alvin, you better be careful. You move in with Matt Bowers, it sounds like you might be trying to sell a few of those Hyundais, a few of those Kias, because Matt Bowers don't mess around. Matt Bowers, the automotive king of Louisiana. So let me back up to what he said about the contract, because that was a hell of an answer. I mean, he kind of bailed the reporter out there. But he said he doesn't want to talk about it, and he said that he's not thinking about it until the end of the season. The Saints do have a bit of a track record of getting these kind of deals done in like week 2, week 3, week 4. I believe the Carl Granderson deal came through that way. They've done it. DeMario Davis, I believe, was a mid-year thing. So it would not shock me if the Saints and Alvin come up with some kind of extension in week 2, week 3. What would shock me, unless they've had conversations behind closed doors, and you never know how that goes. But with someone like Alvin, I would think it's all pretty on the table, where if Loomis said, listen, we cannot do it now. We cannot do it before the season. We cannot do it because of blank reason, blank reason, blank reason. But we will take care of you one way or the other. And I'm sure Alvin's concerned about injuries and all that stuff. And Loomis may have said, well, if that happens, and this is how we'll handle it. You never know the conversations that are being had. If it goes through the entire season, that would shock me unless they've had those conversations. Unless they've had the conversations of, we will get this done in the offseason, whatever, because it is a really delicate situation. I mean, this is, for all intents and purposes, Alvin Kamara's last season under contract. Next year is not a real year of a contract. It's like $20 million, no money guaranteed. Like, that's, it's fugazi. So this is the last deal. And it's a very unique situation for a running back to be in the last deal of his contract, with nothing on the table, no future, nothing guaranteed, nothing hanging on, but under contract. Now, that's the other part of this, is that it's not like he's entering the actual last year of his deal, because then there's some leverage there, right? Like, if he's on the actual last year of his deal, the Saints do have to make a decision. They do have to do something. But if he's not on the actual last year, the Saints don't actually have to do anything. So for Alvin, he's in a very vulnerable spot, because he's putting a lot of faith in the Saints. He's putting a lot of faith in the front office to do him right, like to make sure that they're not going to screw him, that they're not going to force him to play in some bad deal with no guaranteed money, and then, or however they, so he must have some faith in the front office, and the front office, I think, has some faith in him. So it's a tricky situation. From the outside looking in, it's not a good looking situation, but whether I could see it going both ways, honestly. Like, right now, I could absolutely see Alvin playing this year out, and then the Saints and him deciding, like, okay, it's time to part ways. I could absolutely see that, as much as I could see him and the Saints figuring out, like a 2-year extension for an $8-9 million a year type situation, type thing. So I can't sit here and tell you, like, yeah, he's going to be a Saint long term. I can't tell you that he's not. But it's a very fluid situation. But I do believe him when he says, like, I don't want to talk about it, I'm here to play. I do think Alvin's the kind of guy, like, he's going to play. If he's available to play, what his teammates and the team and all that stuff means to him, he wouldn't be doing all this. He wouldn't be available to the media. He wouldn't be talking the way he's talking if he did not plan to play at what he can provide at the highest level.
I guess, like, just because people are curious, like, and I'm curious, is it more related because, like, you're not necessarily under contract for next year, or is it just because, like, you're looking?
Nah, I'm not. I'm just. Matt Bowers told me I could live with him, so I figured that, why spend my money when I can spend Matt's money?
True. True. If you can, I think Nick just jumped in.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Nick know what I'm talking about. So
I mean, see what I'm saying? I mean, Matt Bowers. He's sponsoring everybody. Everyone gets a Kia Soul. He's got Alvin moving in. I mean, Matt, I got a phone. What's going on here?
Nah, yeah. So I'm just, I and my brother's a real estate agent also. Okay. So we kind of I wouldn't say that it was. I had a exact plan, but I had plans of, I'm pretty intentional when it comes to, like, those moves that I make with real estate. Like, I got other properties around the city too, so okay. I mean, if I sell it today, I'll have somewhere to be, so I'm good.
Big picture, just 8th year in the league. How excited you just started on the NFL season?
Man, it's another year, man. It goes by fast. I mean, everybody wasn't here, but I know all y'all remember rookie Alvin, and now it's year 8, and I'm like, dang, it flies. Mark and Adrian Peterson and Ted Ginn, they all told me that, and I'm 2017. I wouldn't think I'll be sitting here like I'm like the old dude now, like, damn. And I'm telling everybody else, like, man, this shit flies. It goes quick. So, I mean, it's a blessing, and especially to be in the same place for so long. Man,
it's crazy to think Adrian Peterson is Saints starting running back. We're sitting there playing the Patriots, playing Tom Brady, gets smoked at home. And next thing you know, Alvin takes over.
And, I was thinking about it last night. You just put in a lot of work, a lot of sacrifice, and to be able to still be doing it, it's amazing.
Getting rid of the that part of the maturing process.
You said what?
I said getting rid of the
no, I'm still on them.
I was going to ask you about that. I don't want to lump you in with Cam Jordan and Demario Davis just yet. You're still in your 20s.
Yeah.
they've been pretty open about being aware of their career mortality, and I mean, I guess especially year 8. I mean, do you feel the same way? Like, we don't have time to waste.
Oh,
After
no,
you
yeah.
missed the playoffs 3 years in a row, and you're like,
For sure. I feel like you just said, like there is no time to waste, because I mean, okay, let's just say half. I'm at a halfway point. If I were to play 16 years or whatever.
That would be an insane career for a running back. Like 16 years.
For 10 years, or I'm on the back end of my career, right? So, I mean, that's just an assumption. But I don't want to waste no time. I don't want to sit here and say, oh, well, I got time. There ain't no time. So
That's a good example, too, when people say, like, oh, they'll tank. You got to remember, when you say blank team is tanking, you are assuming that every single player on that team is agreeing to tank. In the NFL, that means agreeing to basically get your ass kicked for 4 quarters, because it's a very physical sport. It's very different than baseball or basketball, where you can kind of, be very, very kind of lackadaisical about it. In the NFL, it's not the case. If Alvin gets a handoff, he can't tank and just kind of run up the middle and just get blown up. That does not work. That's another reason why tanking is such a fallacy. The front office might be rooting to lose, but there's no situation where they're going to tell Cam Jordan or Alvin Kamara or any of these guys who are playing, like he said, at the back end of their career trying to win. Why would it? Another reason that tanking doesn't exist is usually the coaches. You think Dennis Allen would tank? No, that means he's going to get fired. You think Alvin's going to tank, ruin another year of his career? Or not ruin, but like waste another year of his career? Cam Jordan trying to get a ring, trying to bolster his legacy, he's just going to take a year off? Be okay with winning 4 games? It doesn't happen. And the Saints are a team, which is another good thing with how Mickey builds things, is that everything is so tied together. Like Alvin is tied to Marshawn, who's tied to Cam Jordan, who's tied to Demario Davis, who's tied to Tyrann Mathieu, who, like, these players are all tied together with the window of opportunity the Saints have to win, with the contracts, with how everything is set up. So these guys, like this core group that they all just named, they feel not only their career mortality, but they probably also feel the mortality of like their tenure with the Saints. Especially Alvin, who's facing this contract dispute. He probably is thinking, maybe not like, he's probably not thinking about it a ton, but at some point you are thinking like, is this it for me and the Saints? Is this it? My time in New Orleans? This is all I know. Cam Jordan, same thing. This is all I know. I want to win here. This is home. This is where I've been. I want to win here. So you probably do feel that added pressure of, I don't have that many more opportunities to win here. I don't have that many more opportunities to win anywhere. Right? Like I'm towards the end of my powers here.
I'm trying to run it up. Like, I'm trying to do what I can to have the most success, and then in this league we measure success by a Super Bowl we're playing in February. So that's what I'm trying to get to.
Is there any way that, like, having that institutional knowledge all across this locker room, being like, hey, this, there's no next year, this year. Like, is there any way that can help?
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Yes and no, because I think everybody's not old like me. So you got rookies that they still don't understand that there's no time to waste. They'll get it later when they're sitting in year 8 like me, and I'm like, damn, that shit flew. But I think guys understand, and I think from top down, from the captains, from Derek and Demario and Cam and those guys, I think they do a good job of communicating that time is now. So we just following suit.
You just mentioned sorry, Mike. You mentioned 2017. Maybe I'm kind of drawing the parallel here. It seemed like you kind of came out of nowhere. 3rd round draft pick. People were like, "What is he? Is he a 3rd down back?
Yeah.
Like, what is he?"
Yep.
Do you think this team can kind of come out of nowhere this year and potentially surprise some people who aren't high on him right now?
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. Look, I don't watch ESPN. I don't watch a lot of that stuff. I just hear what people talk about in here, and then well, ESPN ranked us whatever or wherever, and these people are saying this and that. I don't really look at it. I hear some of it from just overhearing things in the locker room, but I don't really care about where. I think I've been pretty consistent in that throughout my career. Like, I don't care what nobody else say. I'm just worried about what's going on in this building. So whatever we have to do in this building to succeed every Sunday, that's what we'll do. So whatever everybody else is saying, then good for them. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I don't take any offense to it. We keep it moving.
Yeah, I think that's true for most players. I don't think most players really care. I think some players probably listen to it more than others, but for a majority of Saints players, like whether they're ranked 27th by Pro Football Focus or 20th, I don't think they care. Especially when the game begins. Like especially once they're playing, they're trying to beat whoever they're playing. I'm sure there's different vibes in different locker rooms where some locker rooms are like, "Hey, we expect to win a Super Bowl. We are a Super Bowl caliber team. Nothing short of that is going to be successful." But the other locker rooms are like, "Look, we're trying to win the division. We're trying to get to a playoff." So I not every team thinks they're a Super Bowl team per se, but I don't think they get caught up in the rankings and all that stuff as much as we do. I think it's a very different view on the season and on game day and whatnot. So, but a great interview. Very. The house. I mean, it's unbelievable what is going on with the Alvin Kamara situation with the contract, and then all of a sudden the house is up for sale, and the game is 3 days away, and it's just a lot happening. But I don't think the house is really any indication of anything. The only thing I would say it's an indication of is a hot real estate market. But I don't think it's a situation where Alvin's like banging the table saying like, "All right, fine. If you're not gonna," and I don't think the team cares either. Like if Alvin said, "I'm selling my house," then the team's like, you still got to be here. Like you're still under contract. I don't care. I don't care if you live in a house. I don't care if you live in an apartment. I don't care if you live with Matt Bowers. Like as long as you're here on game day and practice, whatever. So I think it makes a good headline, but I don't think it really matters at all about if a player sells his house or whatever else. So don't put too much into it. Fun headline, but so I fully expect Alvin to be there on Sunday and be Alvin and be the best form of Alvin that he can be. So I think he'll have a big year. I really do. I think he'll have a huge year. I think this offense is perfect for him, tailor-made for a player like him, and he's ready to roll. I think the whole team's ready to roll. I'm excited. We're going to be doing a ton of coverage here, so stay tuned. If you're not getting the notifications that we're dropping videos, hit the bell. I saw some people in the comments say that the videos aren't popping up on their algorithm. Try and turn the notifications on, the little bell on YouTube. That should send you a notification whenever my videos do drop. We drop them every day. More than likely, we'll be dropping multiple a day for the foreseeable future. So thank you very much for watching. If you're interested in Alvin's house, I'll provide a link down below if you want to make an offer. Hey, who knows? Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.